Okay, thank you. Good evening, guys. I hope we all had a great day. And thank you for joining the tablet class. Tonight would be refreshing on what we had the previous week. And I would try as much as possible to be slow and not be slow. And let's try as much as possible to be attentive. I won't rush you guys. And I would recap on what we did last week from the start of as everybody. If you have downloaded TABLEAU Public on your not put N, so that means yes or no. So that way we would know the number of people that are, you know, that are on track and those that are not on track. Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of Y's and a lot of N's. So to save us this stress now is this. I would put the link to download TABLEAU in the chat box now. And I'll walk us through on how to download it. Please, please, and please let us try as much as possible to download right away. I just posted the link in the chat with you to where you would download TABLEAU Public. Now, I would give us 30 seconds to click. As you can see, my screen is on the area where we'll be downloading. Now, if you click on the link, you should come to a page like this. And don't forget, I asked us to create an account the previous week, which was last week. Now, if you've not created an account, you should have something like this. Should have something like this. Okay, let's say you have something like this. As you can see, it's a void, more like a place. So I would need to like log in. Now you would see signing around here. You would see signing around here. But I have signed in. Now let me sign out and sign in again. So you would see something like this and a sign in button. You click on sign in. If you have an account, you sign in. If you don't have an account, you create an account. Once you might have created an account, you sign in. Because I have an account, I'm just going to sign in. Now, this is my page. This is my personal page. Then you would see create and learn. Then click on create. Immediately you bring your cursor to create. At least we can all see my cursor because it is purple. So that's where it is kind of distinct. Now you would see web authoring and download TABLEAU desktop public edition. Once you click on it, you should have something like this. Once you click on the download TABLEAU public, somebody is saying I'm too fast. I don't know how else you want me to take it, but this is the slowest pace I can go, and I think we should all be at the same range because I'm not very fast here. So once you click on that link, you should come to this role somewhere like around here. And once you click, you select the role. Let's say you're a student or you are whatever you want to say you are. You select, once you select, or for personal user, and you click yes. Then you don't necessarily have to click this checkbox, but if you would love to receive marketing communications, of course, then you click on download. Immediately you click on download, you would have this next interface to select your kind of laptop. Mine is Windows. If you are using Mac, if you are using Mac Intel or Mac Silicon, you select any of the two and you click on Windows. Immediately you click on Windows, it will start downloading. You'd see that it's downloading. Although I don't need this download because I have it already. So I'm just going to pause this download because I do not need it. But for you, you will have to download it. And once you download, you would go to your folder where you have your downloaded, where you might have downloaded it, and you double click and it's installed. Once it installs, you open it for us to start working. So I'll give us 2 minutes how you want me to go, but you can create accounts the same way you used to create account on every website. It's a simple and a straightforward procedure. Okay. It's a simple and straightforward procedure. Once you get to create, even without you,
Sir, please, can you resend the link?
the link is on the group, please.
I can't. I don't know.
Okay, please check
Don't
it.
worry, we're resending. Fire on all that. Fire
Thank
on all.
you. So once you click on create, you come to download. Once you come to download, it takes you to the next interface. And as you click on download, it asks you to, put in your role and you download. Once you click on download, you would have this interface. You select your laptop type, either Windows or Mac, and you download. That way, you are fine. So if we have all done that, please let's put a Y in the chat box so we can move on. And once you download and install and open, just double click from your folder and open. Once you open, you should have an interface like this. Should have an interface like this. So I would give us another 1 minute to do this so that we can be on the same page. And now, for those of us that were able to create accounts the previous week, last week, and you have saved your visualization in cloud, what you have to do now is just once you might have opened your TABLEAU like this, come to File. I'll still take this for those that are just downloading today.
Excuse me, please.
Please use the raise hand button. Okay, thank you. When you want to open the visualization you visualized last week, come to File. Once you click on File, you would see Open from TABLEAU Public. Once you click on it, it will take you back to the cloud. For example, let me say I might have clicked on it. Just like this, you would have to sign in. You would have to sign in using the account you created. Just like this. You would have to sign in using the information you have. And once you click sign in, it will redirect you to the cloud, and then you can pick your visualization. So these are some of the visualizations I have in my cloud space. Then, if I want to open any of these visualization, all I have to do is click and say open. All I have to say is click and open. But because I don't have anything I want to open in these particular visualizations, I'll just leave this and cancel it because I'm not opening anything. But for us that were able to save our visualizations last week, just come to your cloud space and pick your visualization. Una Sylvia, you have signed in. If you have signed in, it's fine. Did you create any visualization the previous week? If you created any visualization the previous week, and you might have opened your Tableau like this, since you have signed in, I assume you have downloaded it because you cannot sign in without downloading. It means you have an account. So open your Tableau. If you visualized some of the things we did the previous week, come to File, come to Open from Tableau Public, click on it, log in, and select, because I'm logged in on the web already, it has automatically logged me in. So I pick whatever visualization I want to work on and I open it. And that way I am fine. So I assume that, or I believe we are on the same page now so that we can move on. And also, I'll be sharing the data we used the previous week in the chat box. Please pick the data now as I'll be sharing the data in the chat box. Okay. I'll have to close it to share it. Okay. So I'll be sharing the data as promised now. So please let us pick the data. Thank you.
Can
So
I ask a question, please?
please use the raise hand button. Thank you. It's not nice to cut somebody when they are talking. Because somebody is watching for the list of those who raised their hand. The person will call your name to speak. Thank you very much. So I just shared the data in the chat box now. Please try as much as possible to download it. Yes, for those that did the assignment, I'm still coming to you. I'm still coming to you. Thank you very much for reminding me. Okay. The person that wanted to talk some seconds ago, please, what is the issue? Can you talk to me, please?
My apologies for doing that, please, because I'm still struggling to find the reaction, so I could raise
Fine.
my. Anyway, my question is, last week, I followed up on how to get onto this Tableau Public,
Yeah.
and I think I saved my work on Tableau Public. But now
Mhm.
that I'm going in, it's not asking me to sign in. Rather, when I click on open, it just opened what we did last week.
Have you logged in on the website?
For me to log in, sorry, do I have to go back to that download or
No,
go
you don't
back?
have to go back to the download. You can just log in into your Tableau space without you having to download. So that's why I'm asking you. Have you logged in into your Tableau like tonight?
No,
Or
I didn't start from there.
have you logged in into the web space tonight?
No,
So you've not logged in into anywhere.
I just clicked on my download where I saved the download, and when I clicked it, it opened the work I did last week.
Okay. Did you create an account?
Yes, my name came up on it, the account I created.
Okay, cool. And when you opened when you opened your Tableau Public, you see the visualization somewhere there, right?
Yes.
Yes, you can see it there, so it's fine.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My apologies again,
But
please.
next time, did you save your work on the cloud last week?
Yes, I saved. I did.
If you saved your work in or on the cloud, use the file, open from Tableau Public, and pick that your work from the cloud, preferably. Okay? Because when you work on that particular project, it will re-update itself on the cloud. Okay? So just use once you might have opened your tablet, that's the same thing I've been saying over and over again. Click on File, open from Tableau Public. It will ask you to log in or log you in automatically.
I'm not there. I'm not seeing that. I have gone to Google to type
You
in
don't need to go to Google. Just open your Tableau software that is on your laptop. You're not doing anything on Google now. This is my Tableau software, the one I downloaded that I installed on my laptop. Okay?
Okay.
I'm sure that as you installed the Tableau on your laptop, it would have created a desktop image on your laptop.
Yes.
Just double click on that desktop image and open it. Once you open it, you should have something like this. Then you click on File,
Okay.
open from Tableau Public. Then you log in and you pick your visualization with the name you used to save it last week. Thank you. Okay, so I have sent the
Albert, sorry to cut in. We've got a couple of hands up. Do you want to take this question
I
or
can't Jesus. Okay.
sir?
Who are those that
Samuel had his hand up first, I think.
who?
Samuel.
Okay, Samuel, please shoot. Samuel, shoot, please.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Mr. Abbott, you are not sounding friendly at all. Oh.
I'm
Sorry
so
to say
sorry.
that, but that is the truth.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually lost, and at the point I wanted to call for help.
Okay, where are you lost? Where are you lost? Let's find you.
How long? Only God knows how long. But however, right now, Seth, you've gone far from where I am, and I don't even know how to find myself.
Okay.
I've downloaded a link, and I'm at a point where I'm seeing QLink, TABLEAU homepage, TABLEAU community, blueprint assessment, and then TABLEAU public.
Hold on. Have you downloaded the tablet software?
Yes, that's where I have all this now. They've even confirmed my from my email. I've seen the confirmation.
Now, have you installed it on your laptop?
No.
They should install it. Now, when you download what's it called? When you download a software, you should see it here inside your downloads in your folder. Should have something like this. This is my Tableau. Yeah?
Yeah, I have it here.
Then double click on it and install it.
Where is it?
Okay, let's say I want to install now. I double click because I have one installed already. I cannot install another. But when you double click, you would see install. You click install. Okay. You click
Like I'm not seeing the download here because
Sorry?
right now it's open on my system, but I'm not seeing it on the download.
It's open on your system.
Yes.
Like open like this.
Yes, it's open.
Like this.
I'm at no, not like that. No. No. Should I open the TABLEAU homepage?
Now, what I want to understand is, you said you downloaded it inside your folder.
Yes.
Now,
And,
are you able to
sign in
your folder?
Sorry, I've signed up.
You are still on the sign up page.
I've signed up, and the next page is
Have you confirmed your email?
Yes.
If you have confirmed your email, you should be able to log in and you should be able to download. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, no
so
problem.
yeah,
Okay.
because if you come to in, you should have a sign in button for yourself like this, or a profile, so to say. Even if you come to your profile like this, yeah, if you come to create, you should see download Tableau desktop public edition. Okay.
Okay.
Then once you download, it would ask for your role, and you click your role, personal user, for example, and you say download, and it downloads automatically. It asks you for what type of laptop you want. Windows. I select Windows. You would see.
I've passed that stage.
Yeah, then you should have it inside your folder where you downloaded it.
Okay, like the one on my phone, I'm trying to,
Are
I
you
just
using a
click
phone
it
or a
and
laptop?
no, I'm using a laptop.
Then you
I already
shouldn't.
have it open on my laptop.
What you
I
say?
already, I already have it open on my laptop. I try to confirm it from my email as well.
Yeah, even if you have downloaded the software itself, you don't confirming your email and the software. There are two different things here. Okay, there are two different things. So you should just pick it from your download folder. Just either you will definitely be here inside your download folder. Okay, and once you have it here, you should just double click on it, then you install.
I think my challenge is that I don't think it was properly downloaded because it's not on my download folder.
Then I don't know, maybe it's your laptop then.
Okay, you can go ahead. I will try it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm, mm.
Okay, for those of us that we are on the same page, so is there any other person raising their hands? Any other problem?
Yes, there are so many people. After Samuel, okay, not anymore, maybe. There were a lot of people's hands that are up. Please, do you want to show some people how to? Someone was chatting me, private chatting in error, how to save it on the cloud.
Now, if you have created one or two visualization and you want to save your work to the cloud, you have to click on File. Then you will see something like Save As to Tableau Public. The same way you would open from Tableau Public, you would see Save As to Tableau Public. Once you click on it, it will bring the login box. You log in, and it will save automatically. It's just like that. You would see Save As to your first save now. Save As to Tableau Public. Your subsequent saves, you would have logged in because you would want to pick your visualization from the cloud. You would have to log in. So as you have logged in, it's okay. Once you click on Control S, it will update and it will do its magic and everything will be saved to cloud. So you would see Save As Tableau Public here. Then you click on it and that should be it. Okay, so the previous week we worked on a particular visualization, and we talked about a few things concerning Tableau. So I would be starting from that place again. So please, for those of us that we are on the same page, please let's follow. And those of us that are having one issue or the other, please kindly note the issue. We would go over those issues one after the other. Unfortunately, we cannot ask everybody to start sharing their screen. It's not possible. That will take longer time, but then we would look for a solution. It's not so much of a big deal, but then let's go. So, the previous week I showed us that we can connect to different servers and we can pick our files from different type of files, from Excel to text to JSON to Access to PDFs to special file and so on and so forth. So the previous week our data type was in Excel form. So we just click on Microsoft Excel and we look for our data. Since I know where my data is, I just have to go and pick the data. And once I said, okay, it's automatically open an interface like this. Now, in this interface is where we perform joins, is where we just do whatever I want to do. This is our data source before we go to our visualization pane. Now, I said I was going to show us this data tonight because so that we would see what we are really working with. So we won't say what is the data all about. So now I'm going to open it in my Excel sheet. Okay, so this is the data, as you can all see. It's a sample superstore data. Okay, now we would see that this data, it contains 3 sheets, all in one. Yeah. Now we can see that in our first sheet we have orders, the second sheet we have returns, and the third sheet we have people. And the people simply contains people's names and region. Okay. Now the other table, it has lots of informations. Now, if I convert this whole information into a table, we would see the number of and we do a count to know the number of data, the total number of the data sets, we would see is around 79,000 thereabout. Now, this order table, it contains rows, row ID, order ID, the date, the ship date, the ship mode, the customer ID, the customer name, the segment, a whole lot of other information. Obviously, this is a sales data set. It's a sales data set, and it's a sales data set in the United States of America with different cities and states included. We also have their postal codes and a few other information. Now we have discounts, we have profits, we have quantity sold, we have sales, and a few other information. So that is what this data is all about. As a data analyst, we don't just work on a data blindly. We have to understand the data itself. We have to understand what are the elements that are in the data, what is missing in the data, and a few other things. So that way we are able to further dissect the data if we have to put columns into it, if you have to transform the data, or if you have to do 1 or 2 calculations inside the data before you begin to analyze. Either you want to use TABLEAU, for example. So now I'll go back to my TABLEAU since we have seen what the data is all about. Now, for us to start working on this data, we know that the other table has lots of information. The other table have lots of information. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to bring out our order table. Once we bring it out, it comes out like this. And here, it shows us in a rows of hundreds. Now, we can see that one fields 999, 4 rows. Yes. And we can even further say, okay, I want the rows to be much. You can increase it to 1,000 and press enter. And you can further see what is inside the data set you want to work with. You can further see the data set we want to work with. Now, if we want to, for example, if we want to perform joins, if we want to join the people and the returns together, if we want to join them together for us to have a consolidated kind of data set. That is when we bring out the people. For example, once you drop it, and we would see the type of relationship that exists between the data sets. We would see that as I placed my cursor on the line that is holding the orders and the people together, we can see the relationship is orders and people, region, people. Okay, it means that inside orders we have people, and inside region we have people as well. So that is what the data we use to create relationship in between the data sets. So now if we come down here, we would see something like order, we would see region, and we would see people, region and people. So if we're going to perform joins in this kind of data sets, we will have to hide one out of these two. But that is in a case whereby, let's say we want to visualize more on the people that are making sales and a few other informations. But then we don't need it at this point. So I'm just trying to show us so that we know that we perform joins, and even if we want to add returns to it, we just have to bring it down and drop it. And that way it performs its joins naturally, and it shows you the type of relationship and the fields the software is using to perform the relationship. If that makes sense, and I hope I'm making sense. So, but we don't need all of this relationship yet. We don't need all of this relationship yet. So we brought out our order table because it has most of the information we want to visualize. Then, once we might have brought out our order table as our data source, then we'll now come to sheets, which is our sheet 1. It means we are ready to visualize. Then we can now click on our sheet 1. So if you have been able to click on your sheet 1, please type yes or Y. And if you are unable to type in to click on your sheet 1, please press N. Let's see, so that we'll know we are all on the same page. Okay, and before I move on, I'll send the data set to the group now. For those that are saying they need the data set again. I'm sending the data set again. I'm sending the data set again. Sorry, I have to close it first. Okay. Okay, I just sent the data set again. For those of you that got lost, I would compile a list and we'll look for a day to sort all of these things. Please bear with me. we'll compile a list and we would see how to go about it. I think I'll do that personally. Thank you. So I've sent the data set to the group. Now, as mentioned in the previous week, and for those that have not been able to download, please, you can ignore now and please just follow, so that when you download JIOS, you would not be a novice to the software. Now, the previous week, I mentioned dimensions and measures. Now, what are dimensions? What are measures? I mentioned that dimensions, dimensions are, they are qualitative data, meaning that they are data that carries information. For example, data that carries name, for example, data that carries name, data that carries postcode, data that carries order ID, data that carries categories, customer name, and so on and so forth. They are data that carries information. They are data that do not carry digits. They do not carry information about sales, profit, discount, quantity, but they are just informational data. And if you look at the left side of TABLEAU here, you would see that from the categories down to measure names, the colors are, they are in light blue. They are light blue. Light blue. They are dimensions. They are dimensions. Now, if you further go down, you would see the ones that are green. They are called measures. They are called measures. They are called measures because they carry calculated values. They carry calculated values. They carry calculated values. Now, if you look at the right side of the screen, you will see something like show me. This show me, they are items that makes your work very, very easy. But before you are able to use them, you need to understand what they are all about. Now, let's use this visualization as an example. Now, it says for you to get this particular visualization, you would need one or more dimensions. You would need 0 or more dimensions and 1 or more measures. Now, you would see that if you look at the down part, somewhere around here, let me place my cursor on the bar chart again. If you place your, if I place my cursor on this bar chart, you would see that it says 1 or more dimensions, and you would see that the dimensions is in blue. The dimension is in blue, and 1 or more measures, and the measures is in green. Just as I mentioned, dimensions and measures. Then that is when we now further went to visualize our first visualization using the sales and using the sales and the what did we use the previous week? We used category and subcategory. But before we used the category and the subcategory, we created an hierarchy. Now, an hierarchy is simply putting together data that are like minds, data that are the same. For example, if you look in our dimension area, you would see categories and you would see subcategory, meaning that category and subcategory, they can be under one umbrella. They can be in the same house because it is category and subcategory. Simply put, the category of the products that are being sold and the subcategories of those products. For example, the name of the category can be electronics and the subcategories can be television, radio, sound system, anything that makes up electronics. So the names of those items, one after the other, is what we call subcategory. but the main category is, which is the heading that the product is under, which is electronics, is the category. So how did we now go about creating the hierarchy? What we did was we said to create hierarchy, we can create hierarchy in two different ways. We can create hierarchy in two different ways. We can create hierarchy by clicking on this drop down triangle shaped button that is in front of this category. For example, we can click on this drop down and we can click on it, and once we click on it, we will see this pop up. And once we see this pop up, we would see hierarchy. And once we see hierarchy, we would see create hierarchy. That is the first way of creating an hierarchy. Now, another way to create hierarchy is simply right-clicking on category. You can see that the first time I brought my cursor to this drop down right in front of category, and now I brought my cursor just on category and I right-clicked on it. I hope I'm not too fast. I hope I'm not too fast. I right-clicked on it. Once I right-clicked on it, I would come to hierarchy. And because I want to create a new hierarchy, I would say create hierarchy. And I say, bam, create. And it asked me, what is the name of the hierarchy I want to create? What is the name I want to give to it? And I would say item. And I'll say, okay. Once I give it item, I say, okay. Now, we would see something that looks like a more like a tree, just right in front of item. And we would see that category is now under item. Now, if I click on this drop down button that is right in front of this item, if I click on it, we would see that our item, the category has disappeared. It has gone inside its house, which is the item. And if I click on it again, I would see my category. Now, the next thing we want to do now is we want to bring our subcategory to be in the same house with category. How do we do this? I can simply come to subcategory, hold and drag like this, hold and drag and move it. Once I see this thin line that is saying, do I want to put it under category, or do I want to put it above category? But because it is a subcategory, I want it to be under category. I can just move it and drop it under category. If I drop it under category, everything will be under item because they are inside item. Bam. Once I drop it, it will just stay there. And mind you, whenever you make a mistake on TABLEAU, you can do Ctrl+Z to undo and Ctrl+Y to redo. So I'll just do Ctrl+Z to return the category back to the subcategory back to where it was. Now, another way that I can add my subcategory, my subcategory to category is this. I can right-click on it. If I right-click on it, I would see hierarchy. Now, this time around, I'm not just seeing create hierarchy, I'm seeing add to hierarchy. Because I have created one hierarchy before, it will bring out the name of that hierarchy. And I can simply say, add it to item. And if I say item, if I select item, it will automatically come under subcategory. And why is it coming under subcategory? Why is it coming under category? Because category was inside the item already. Subcategory met category in that house. So, therefore, subcategory is the younger brother of category. So the two of them are now in the same house. So I've simply showed us how to create an item, the different ways to creating an item, and the different ways to adding an item, or on to the different ways of adding an item into the hierarchy that has been created. Now, if we want to, the next thing we want to do now is we want to create another hierarchy. And the hierarchy we want to create now is location, because we can see that we have country, we have city, we have postal code, we have state, and we have region. Right? Now, well, I shouldn't ask us how do we go about this. It simply means we want to create another hierarchy. So country is the mother of all of these things. Then we will come to country, we right click on country just as we did the other time. Right click on country, we say hierarchy. This time we are not adding it to item. We want to create a new hierarchy. Then we say create hierarchy. Now, when we create hierarchy, it will automatically say country, but we don't want to give it country. We want to say location. Once we say location, it sees the name and we say OK. We click OK. Now, we would see that automatically the location came down because it starts it starts with L. It starts with L. So that means it's following a sequential order for C, C, I, C, and all of that. More like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now, we have created location hierarchy, and the only thing we have inside of it is country. Now, since we have country, we know that we want to move in our states into the hierarchy. Then we would now do what? We will now bring in our states under country. Don't forget, you can move it like this, or you can just right click and add it to the hierarchy that has been created. Now we can see that we have two hierarchies now that has been created. So we can add it to location or to item hierarchy. So I'm adding it to location hierarchy. I say okay. Then the state automatically comes under country. And now I want to add city. So I'll do what? I'll right click on city again. I'll say hierarchy, add to hierarchy, add to location. Now I've added it to location. Now I want to add postal code. And if we look at this this dimension part of our Canva, we will see that the location, they have a map data type, which is indicating country, it's indicating city and states. It's simply telling us this is a map like kind of a data set, or a map like kind of data type. Now I want to move in my postal code. Then I would right click on postal code. After I click on data postal code, I say hierarchy, I add it to an hierarchy, and I say location. Now we would see that our region is supposed to come after country, yeah, but our region data type is showing us strings data type. And what do I mean by string data type? Which is ABC. Your name is string because it is ABCDEFGH. Your name is ABCD. So any data type that shows A, B, C, it simply means is a string data type. Now, we will have to convert or change this data type to a map data type so that we can move our region to where its brothers and sisters are, which is under location. Now, how do we go about that? In the previous week, we said if you right-click on region, we would see something like geographic role. Geographic role. Now, if you click on geographic role, we would see lots of other information, but we want to create it from the state. So you would see create just right under the zip code. Yeah, because we want to create, then TABLEAU will ask us, okay, from where do you want to create this region? Is it from postal code? Is it from state? Is it from city? Is it from country? But we want to create it from state. Then we select state. We say state and click, we will see that it now changes to a map data type. It changes to a map data type. Now, that way, we can now move it. We can move it to where its other data, its other brothers and sisters are, just like that, and we can leave it. Or we can just say, okay, we can right click on it and say hierarchy, add to hierarchy, location, and say location, bam. But if I say, look, if I put it this way, it will come under postal code. But I don't want it to be under postal code. I want it to be under country. Then I can move it and just place it right. I can hold and move it and just drop it under country. So that way we have successfully created hierarchies just as we created them the previous week. Okay. Now, for those of us asking if how we are supposed to save our work, if let's say I'm done with this now, all I need to do is click on file. Then you would see, well, because I don't have any visualization yet, save to TABLEAU public as is not yet activated, but that's just the way we would save it. Okay. Now, the first visualization we created the previous week, we created the sales by category visualization. Please, if we are on the same page, please just type yes in the comment section or in the chat group, or why, so that I will know I'm not talking to myself. Thank you very much. So the previous week, we visualized our first visualization, which was sales by category. Now, the essence of sales by category is there are two things, or there are three things. Number one, to know which of the category is making the highest sales. Yes, this is what we did last week. We have to recap for those that didn't catch it last week, because if they do not catch this, it will be impossible to catch the next thing. So please bear with us. we want everybody to be on the same page. That is why I have to go over this from the start again. Thank you for understanding. Now, I was saying that we visualized sales by category because of three things: to know which of the categories is making the highest sales, to know which of the subcategories is making the highest sales, to know which product is not making sales in our organization. So, and how do we go about this visualization? I said we have rows and columns here, just as we have in our Excel. So the first thing we want to do is to bring our sales To bring our sales, we have to drag our sales to rows. We drag our sales to rows. Then, because we have created an hierarchy for our categories, we just have to click on the item, the name of the item. We drag it into our columns. Yes. Once you drop it, it will automatically split. It will split the items into their categories. It will split them into their categories. Now, the previous week we said we can decide to now break it down to say, okay, what are the subcategories in this category? You would see a plus sign just behind your category before the C. You would see a plus sign, and you would see that plus sign because the category is housing the subcategory. So if you click on the plus sign, we would see the different categories of items that we have in these subcategories. Those items that we have, we would see them one after the other. Okay, now if I now close it back, if you can click on the minus sign to close it back. If we now close it back and we say, okay, this visualization is not looking appealing, we can now say, okay, let us now bring in our item into color, to give it color, for example. So this way, we have simply separated furniture from office supplies to technology. And if we break it down, it will maintain the same color that we have given each of those categories. Then the previous week, we now said, okay, what if we want to know, we don't want this this information on our x-axis, and we just want information on this on these bars. Then I said we can bring our cursor around here and right click on it. Then you see show header. If you click on show header, it will disappear. That means we have taken it off. Then we can now decide to bring our sales to label, so that we can label our visualization. I hope I'm not too fast. So that we can label our visualization. Then I mentioned that we have something called the tooltip. The tooltip is simply the information showing once I and the sales amount. Then I now further said, okay, if we want to see the profit on those category, we can now move our profit into detail. Then if you now bring your cost to any of the bars, it will show us the sales amount and the profit on that category.